Akada, children's book festival.
It's so vital and important in today's time to ensure that we are comfortable. We are comfortable with where our children are comfortable. We will do ourselves a serious disservice to say, I don't understand that. Oh, you know me, I'm not a public person. Oh, you know me, I don't like all that social media nonsense. Serious disservice. And the way we were raised and the way we're raising children is fundamentally different. There is 100 times more exposure. I use this as an analogy a lot. I'm the last of 5 siblings, and I'm the last of an older generation, i.e. my parents are much older. So my dad is 83, my mom is 74. So my parents are older. So it's not like I have young, yuppie, cool parents. And I remember when I was younger, because I have 4 older brothers. I remember when I was younger, I would hear things, but because I didn't have internet or anything to go and check it, as I'm hearing it, it's flying out my ear. It doesn't stick. Sometimes curiosity will make you search for what you've heard. So maybe you check the dictionary, or you ask somebody because you've heard something repeatedly. That was then. Now, if you hear something, if a child hears something that they're curious about, in 2 seconds, they've Googled it. And we all know that the internet is user-generated, which means that I can decide, what's your name? I and Jennifer can decide that we want to start calling this color Jenny, and go on the internet and have 16 different articles, get it on her as well to do some op-ed articles. I can start 1 or 2 blogs, start 2 Instagram pages, perpetuating this color as Jenny color. So when my child goes to Google, somebody argues with him in class, no, this is just beige, cream. Say, no, it's Jenny color. Let me show you on the internet. Do you understand? So it's important that we're where they are so that we can help them to navigate around excess information. So I'm going to come back to Roblox. Now, this presentation is titled The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. With every single thing in life, there's always an advantage. The people that sat down to formulate the idea of gaming, the idea of Roblox, didn't formulate it to hinder progress. They didn't sit down in a room and say, how are we going to take children down? How many people allow their children on YouTube? Okay. Sometimes. Again, the people that started YouTube did not think of how are we going to formulate something that is going to be disruptive. They wanted something that it was user-generated. People could go and get information, also post information, because we're in an era where our real currency is knowledge and information, right? And so if I have knowledge about something and I live in Timbuktu and I want to be able to share that knowledge with Jennifer, what's the easiest way to disseminate that information is the internet. So it's the tools on the internet. So I'm going to put I like to dress up. So I'm going to talk about me dressing up. And I want to share it with the world. I'm going to put it on the internet. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to have my YouTube channel. I'm going to do a few YouTube shorts. That's how we share information now. My children have friends that I don't know. That scares me to my bones, because I couldn't imagine a time when my parents didn't know what friends I had, especially at age 13, age 10. They knew who the people I would hang out with. My daughter said to me one time when I was asking her about this whole Roblox, and I'll get into Roblox because I want to get into the different games on Roblox. So people talk about Roblox as if it's a singular entity. I want you today to think of Roblox as something as common as YouTube, where it is a platform where anyone can put information. Anybody. So it's user-generated. I am a gamer. I can decide to formulate a game and upload it on Roblox, right? And if I upload it on Roblox and I get a few of my friends to come on it, it gets popular. And if Roblox finds me worthy, then they give me some sort of stamp that shows that I'm a legit game. Sorry. My tutors are tutoring me from the back. A star, not a stamp, sorry. that legitimizes your page, and then you can now monetize it. So there are many children, if you read up articles, that have become millionaires on gaming. Who does? Me, I want to retire earlier. I want my children to be technologically advanced. I want them to formulate something that is going to guarantee my holidays by the beach. You don't want it. So that's the good. We are raising technologically advanced children who coding comes to them naturally. You know, children who literally sit down and formulate things without even having to think hard about it. 3/4 of the games on Roblox were formulated by teenagers and below, young adults, not adults. Not adults. It's the same way, and I like to use YouTube because I'm looking at my crowd here, and I know that the crowd I have here is more familiar with YouTube. It's the same way you can see more videos on YouTube from a certain generation. That's the same way it is. They are the ones that are sitting down coding. My boys code. And we live in Nigeria where we even have limitations as to the extent in which we can dabble into certain things. We have nieces and nephews that have been formulating games from when they were 7, 8 years old. So it's important to understand that these things come with heavy advantages, heavy. So in Roblox, there are different games. I wish there were a few more moms here that had their kids on Roblox so that we can identify, or dads, so we can identify with some of them. There's a game called Bed Wars. Anybody here heard of Bed Wars? Okay. There's a game called, my children are always, so I genuinely, as I said in the beginning, I grew up with boys. So I genuinely like gaming. I like games. I shy away from playing games because from when I was younger, I understood the addictive nature of games. I'll tell you a funny story. I grew up in Toronto. So when I lived in Canada, I remember we had a new game that had been, I think maybe it was like a Christmas gift, but I didn't have a memory card on that game. I think it was the Sonic game. I'm trying to remember. I didn't have a memory card on that game. So it meant that no matter how far I went, if I put off the system, I would have to start again from the beginning. So I would play into the wee hours of the night, and I would leave my console on overnight because I wanted to finish the game. And I did this for 4 days until my older brother got so annoyed at me one evening because I wasn't paying attention. And I was at the very least 16 years old. So I wasn't young. He got so irritated with me at my behavior that he yanked the plug off. That's, as he did it, the feeling I felt almost 30 years ago, I can still feel it now. It was like my world had crashed. Do you understand? So I understand, and I'm very honest with my children about the addictive nature of gaming, and they see it sometimes. I have certain rules. I ensure that I don't have certain games on my phone, because if I have it, I won't do anything else. My kids have games on their iPads that I collect from them and play. The other day, Derala, how long did I spend on the game that he asked me to help him pass one hard level. By the time we came back, how many levels had I passed? So if me, an adult that knows better, that has a full-time job, 3 children, husband, house to run, can get distracted, that is one of the ugly sides of Roblox. It is an addictive, satisfying experience that if you do not put the right measures in place, you will get consumed in. Right? So we need to understand what we are dealing with as pros and cons as it relates to these things. So I was asking you about some of the games on Roblox, but because we don't have a lot of parents here who have their kids on Roblox, they will seem unfamiliar. So there's Rise of the Nation, there's Adopt Me, there's Bloxburg, there's Murder Mystery, and I think maybe one of the most famous common ones is Bed Wars. It's a very different mentality from what we grew up to know, and that in itself contradicts how we interact with it. You are not comfortable with what you don't know. But these children, this is the way that they meet friends, this is the way that they know each other, and this is the extent of their knowledge of each other at this point. Is that dangerous? It could be, but it could also be safe. Because it means that they are learning how to have certain types of relationships that don't have any depth. So we meet online, we're a team, we play something in common, and we all go our separate ways. I don't know if you live in Japan, if you live in Kutuwenji, I don't know. And they don't leave the scenario thinking about those things. Sometimes you see them, they log on to their game and they're like, this person is online. Who is this person? Just someone they know from the game that plays. So again, these are excellent interactive skills that these children learn. And it's instinctively. They're learning it instinctively. So if you think about all the different wills, all the different things it takes to form a will. In school, they learn closer interpersonal skills. Online, they learn skills that are not as interpersonal, but still able to get along, able to plan together, able to do things together. And that is essential because our kids will always have different types of engagements, and we need to prepare them for those different types of engagements. So that's important. So that's another good. So let me tell you one of the bads, one of the worst ones that I hate. Because it's user-generated, and because, yes, there are controls, but something has to happen to trigger a control measure. So someone has to use a bad word for that person to be flagged as using a bad word. Do you see what I'm saying? So some of the things that I find to be the bad is foul language. And foul language is very popular on these platforms because you have people from different walks of lives that are online. I want to assume that the people that are playing these games are within the same age group, but you never know. You don't know who's behind a screen. So you find people using bad language. The other day, one of my sons said they were playing something. No, this is not me. They were playing something online, and somebody came in on the game, and the person was using bad language, and that they had tried to report the person a few times, but he noticed that the person was still there. So again, those are things that are beyond your control, and those are some of the things that are the bad. So I'm going to give a summary because I can see that they're holding up 5 minutes for me. So just practical tips. Ensure you set up parental controls on Roblox and any other gaming that your children, thank you, that your children are involved in. Just last week, Roblox sent a message, because I have parental control on my children's accounts. And they sent a message that the parental controls are changing. Let's be honest, how many of us read terms and conditions of parental controls? Me, I read it now, because I don't want to wahala. If I want to sue somebody, I want to sue them with my chest. So I want to know, there's a case right now that has been popular on the internet about a boy that committed suicide that was encouraged by an AI chatbot that he thought was a real person. The terms and conditions on those sites are going to get, because the mom is trying to sue, and that's why there's such hoopla around it. She's trying to sue the company, the AI company, like a whole bunch of people. If you haven't read the terms and conditions properly, you don't know what you're also exposing yourself to. So I got the first email from one of my sons, and I thought, they're changing parental control. Oh, me, I've already figured out the things I need to do with the last batch of updates. Then they sent it again for my other son. I said, let me read this thing. And so I had a conversation with them. I said that they're changing some things. I might have to take this thing off until I understand what it is that they are changing it to. It is important that parental controls are not taken for granted. We must understand what it is that we're exposing them to and what it is that the companies are not liable for. And Roblox it is very, very important that you read if you are going to. I don't think that children should. I think that there should be limitations. I'm not one for complete censoring because I'm not sure how realistic it is in the long term, but that is a personal opinion. However, when you are there, you must ensure that you expose yourself to as much information as possible. I have timing on my children's devices are timed, even though they're cheeky enough to know how to maneuver around it. But they're timed. And I think that that is important for children to understand. If you have 2 hours of screen time in a week, it is up to you. It's your responsibility to see how you want to allot it. If you want to allot all your 2 hours in one day, good luck to you. But once that is done, then you need permission to extend that timing. And I think that that is, even for me as an adult, I have timing on my phone. So when I know that I've been on, I was confessing earlier how I can be on a game for hours. I try to ensure I refrain myself. And because I'm an adult, I can self-regulate. If I know I've overdone it today, then I can know that for the rest of the week, Tommy, you can't do anything. So again, encourage balanced screen time. The screen is here to stay with our children. This is the future. In fact, what we know now is probably not as dire as what we're going to know in front, because every day technology keeps getting better, for lack of a better word. So screen time is here to stay. How do you regulate it? How do you balance it? How do you also ensure that they also understand the importance of other types of interaction? So if my children have play dates, because now I understand, before they weren't allowed devices at all on their play dates. They can't carry devices out of the house with them, and people can bring devices to the house if they're coming on a play date. It was my rule. But because I understand the relevance of these games and Roblox to them, it's part of what they enjoy with each other. So if you're going to have a play date, you can spend 20 minutes on Roblox or an hour on Roblox together, but the rest of the time has to be spent doing something else. Outdoor time, football, play, swimming, I don't care, just something else. It can't be on that. So I think that those sort of things also help and encourage. Constantly talk to your children honestly about online safety. The reason why my child can tell me, Mom, that's cringe. No, you don't ask those kind of questions. It's because I ask them. Okay, so this person that you've been playing with, where are they from? I don't know. To me, I might have thought it was important to know, but now I understand better. Because when you start asking those kind of intrusive questions to a child online that you don't know from anywhere, it raises alarms. So my children know that if someone starts saying to them, where do you live? Where are you from? Block. So it is only by educating our children that we also get educated and we know better, so we can handle things better. So, of course, don't share personal information on Roblox or any other gaming platform, but Roblox. And report any sort of bad behavior, shut up, Seth. Before you even start getting into the really bad words, anyone that seems aggressive, pushy online, please, by all means, report it. Try to play games with them. Try. They keep trying to encourage me to get, oh, mommy, come and play one round of... I try. The ones I understand, I can jump on it. It is good for them to see you being interested in things that they are interested in. It is very encouraging for them. And obviously, review all the games. Like I said, Roblox is not one game. Please, let's not get confused. It is a platform that houses many user-generated games. Many user-generated games. So it is important for us to understand the different types. There are some games that are not good games on Roblox, and there are some games that are harmless and, good. You will know that the more you expose yourself to it. So it has, as you said, Roblox has positive and negative aspects. Understanding them helps manage the experience. You know the kind of games they are playing, the ones that are helpful, instructive, educative, because there are educative games on Roblox as well. Parents play a crucial role in setting boundaries and ensuring online safety. The buck starts and stops with you. If you don't want your children playing games in other people's houses and they have accounts on Roblox, every time they log in to their account, it will send you an alert. So if they're in their friend's house and they are trying to log on to their Roblox, I'm going to get an email saying, this Aderolu has logged on from a different device. So you know that they're playing Roblox at their friend's house. And if it's not something you want them to do, you tell them, get off that. And if it's something that you're okay with, maybe you know the environment, you're safe with it, then you let them continue. Aim for a balanced approach. Our children's well-being is important. These children are from a different time, a different generation. We cannot treat them the way we were treated. We need to be more empathetic to the things that are of concern to them, and we need to show keen interest in what helps them become balanced children. So that's it for me. I'm going to take questions. Thank you very much, my biggest fans. I'll take questions.
What if your child has a username as their own name? For example, if I was playing Roblox and my name is Tom, and I now put my name as Tom, a hacker now comes.
So I think that what you're trying to say is that if you use your real name and a hacker comes in and tries to hack your name, is that the question? Are you sure? Okay, so it's for me, I prefer that my children use their real names. But again, I'm beginning to understand more that it is safer for children to use pseudonyms on a lot of these games. From the things that I have read and things I've been exposed to, there is less information about who you really are for hackers to use. So if my name is really Tom, and I've used Tom as my username, if a hacker gets in and is trying to perpetuate themselves as me, they already have one extra bit of information on who I really am, which is my first name. So the advice that you read online is that they should have other names and not their real, they should have pseudonyms and not their real names online. Okay, sir? Thank you, sir.
I want to ask that, how do one balance the time the children spend on their phones and real play time with them as parents? Because you mentioned that you do play the game with them too, and I don't know, does that count as being present with them?
So every household is different, and what is important to your household is different. I try to constitute device-free time, even when I'm there. So if we're watching movies, for example, or we're trying to spend time, we're playing board games or card games, there's no device that is allowed. And we try to enforce it as much as possible, because it's important for children to know that life does not start and end. And if we're being honest, we're on our phones more than our children are on their devices. My children don't have phones. My children all have iPads. And so that already gives some level of limitation. But it's important to understand that even with that, even the time that you spend with them playing games is still quality time. It's just quality time doing something that they enjoy doing, which is fine. I don't think that it doesn't remove the time. I mean, sometimes I'm helping them pass a level on one of their games and they're standing behind me watching it. We're bonding. Do you understand? So it depends on what constitutes quality time for you at home and what is important for you. It is very important for me to ensure that we're spending time together that does not involve technology. It is important for me. I don't want devices in cars. Those times are not, it's non-negotiable for me. Not to say that the people that do it have it wrong. You just have to determine what is important to you, right?
So with Roblox, I didn't really make out time to find out the bad. I just went by the reviews online and I just deleted it completely. And she keeps asking, but so-and-so has Roblox, so-and-so Roblox. So how do you put the controls on the kind of games? I know there are parental controls, but how do you sieve out? Can you block out some certain games on there? Like when you have your list of games that she can go on? Or is it just going by the language used in each game? Or I just don't know, it's so confusing.
Okay, so they said this last question, but I want to ask you to just indulge. I started 10 minutes late now. Please, give me time. I want to call two very experienced people in Roblox to the stage with me, if you don't mind. Please, a round of applause for Aderolu and Aderola. I would have called their big sister, but she's already cutting her eye at me, so I won't bother. Watch, baby. Okay, so the auntie here is asking that can you restrict certain games on Roblox?
Like Fortnite, yes, you can. There are some certain games like battle games, friendly games, and cooperative games, horror games as well. Most parents would indulge in trying to restrict out of battle games and horror games because we end up making the children more like anxious and pessimistic. I would recommend that yes, you can block some types of games, but leave out the cooperative games because even if they're not playing with their friends, they learn how to cooperate with other people. So for example, they go out onto a football competition, they know how to cooperate with their teammates.
Thank you very much, sirs. So, they have questions for you. I'm coming.
What games can they recommend for children between 6 and 8 years old that are not horror and like good ones?
I'll first just note that I didn't allow my kids on Roblox until they were technically 10, but I think they got their accounts, because their sister is eyeing me because she got everything harder because she's the first. So she wasn't allowed any of it. But because I had experience with her, I was a little bit softer on them, right? So they didn't get their devices, their iPads till they were 10. And when did you get your Roblox account? 8. Okay, 8 or 9. Okay. But she got hers at 10. So what games would you recommend for? So I would say 6 is a bit early, just personal opinion, you know. But if you choose to, please don't just take this recommendation. Also go online and check yourself, please. So what game would you recommend?
Most certainly Bed Wars. Bed Wars first because you can have a private server that you can ask your friends to join. They can join your party, and then you can play with just them and their friend. So Bed Wars. And next, from me, Block Fruit. Block Fruit is when there are 3 C's, and then they fight. It's a battle game, but it also has cooperativity. So maybe you may not want them to play Block Fruit, but then, in my opinion, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Me, I have 2. One, I would say Brookhaven. It's a nice game that everyone can cooperate into. My brother said Block Fruit, which me, in my opinion, I'd say no. Because Block Fruit has fruits, obviously, and a few of them are kind of religious, and my friend literally got banned from Block Fruit because of that. There is a Buddha fruit, which technically means like a demon, and there's a Kitsune fruit, which is like, a Kitsune is like a cheeky fox. That's a very religious fox. So my friend is not really allowed to play because of those. So I would really recommend things like Brookhaven, which are cooperative. People can play together. It's like a role play game. And Murder Mystery 2. No, it's not a horror game.
Okay. Wait. Okay. They've told me that my time is up. I also want to just add, and I'm going to give my Egbon the microphone. I also want to add that my other son touched on something important. Your values at home and your religious drive, obviously, it influences a lot of things. So if you don't want your children exposed to certain type of things that question if you're a Christian, your Christianity, then you shy away from some of those things, because that's what his best friend got banned because of. 1 second, guys.
I can't believe the twins are this old. I still have this mindset of these these babies. Wow. Fantastic. Thanks, Tomilayo. It's great to hear from a parent's perspective. Sorry, I missed most of your presentation. I just wanted to ask whether you touched on the fact that, as you said, Roblox is a platform, but it's also a platform for the kids to create, and that it's also a tool for them to actually learn coding. You know, I know we run those classes, and the draw for the children is that, it's Roblox, so they think they're coming to just play the game non-stop. But that is also a platform to create and to learn coding skills.
Yes, I did touch on it, but what I didn't mention is that one of their first experiences with these platforms was from coming to camp, to the STEM camps. And I mentioned initially when we started, because the presentation is titled Good, Bad, and Ugly, I said to them that even I personally have nieces and nephews that have made money off of creating and coding games on Roblox. And I also teased and said, I want to retire early. I am empowering them, all of them, as much as they can, to find those skills that come naturally to them to ensure that they are also financially secure. Because these things, you will be amazed at how naturally coding comes for some kids and how useful and instrumental it is in creating. I also mentioned to them that the stats on Roblox is that 3/4 of the games that have been created on Roblox are created by teenagers and below, not adults. So you must also understand the psyche behind this. Roblox is probably one of the biggest gaming platforms ever. And to imagine that 3/4 of the content that is on it is being produced by children and teenagers themselves, it gives you an understanding of what the future looks like. So that was the first good I talked about, and I talked about the financial gains, because there are many articles online of billionaires that have started off from their gaming successes. They see their auntie, her name is Auntie Itoha. Show them that sign. Can you see? Okay, sorry. 1 minute each. 1 minute each.
One thing to quickly say is Roblox. I would like, if you want to look over your children playing, I would like you to watch your games. Like if it says, if you win this hobby, you'll get blah, 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 Roblox. They are scams. They are big scams. There are only certain games which actually give you Robux, and that means you have to give someone else. I would like them to allow your children get at least 1,000 Robux per Christmas, so they at least know how it feels to have a prize.
That was a pitch. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, last thing, Roblox. One of the biggest problems with Roblox is how commercialized it has become. So it enforces consumerism. There's an app I use, there's a website I use. It's called, remind me? commonsense.org. Commonsense.org gives you the ratings of movies, books, games, anything you can think of. It's a non-profit UK-based organization. So they solicit for donations, but it's a free platform. It rates, baby, come and do your last minute, It rates, this is important to note. It rates different games, movies, and books on how language use, consumerism. Consumerism is very important. How do you subtly start making kids feel like they need to spend real money? It is a major problem that children are facing. So you will hear, once they get on Roblox, next thing is, I want Robux. What do you want for your birthday? Robux. What do you want for Christmas? Robux. What do you want to use your money for? Robux. Because they want to start expending real money on the games. I am not against it. It just has to be within limits. When we come to Upbeat, we spend money for the kids to jump. That is a form of activity for them, and that is something that they enjoy. So by no means should you not be able to spend money on an online platform, but it cannot be consistent and it can't be all the time. And what he has said is, because they know that children are looking for these things, they start to incentivize, okay, if you play this game and you do this and you do that, we'll give you Roblox, but it's a scam. And a lot of times it's hackers. So they need to be careful. So I just wanted to mention that. No, baby, we're done. Your last word. You're good? Okay. So, no, you can't. Go. So thank you so much for your attention and for your questions and for your interactiveness. This was gratefully enjoyable. And if you have any more questions, the presentation has my telephone number and my email at the end. Yes, they're 10. They'll be 11 soon. They're 10. So thank you so much and have yourselves a wonderful day.